He'd be like, I'm taking my pants off. I think he still does that. But.
All right. Well, then you guys are gonna see a lot of my fucking bare chest, and I'm gonna see a lot of that shower. Are we in agreement then? If we're in agreement, then I don't care. I will bring a change of clothes.
You're gonna be naked for most of the podcast.
I don't understand why you guys are so fucking short-sighted, and you don't realize you're just like.
Buddy, I think I do. I just don't have a solution.
Yeah, we don't have a solution. It's gonna be hot podcasting in the summer.
Why can't you just text me? I'm like looking up like silent fucking air conditioning.
I think I've been saying that.
No, just tell me directly, like, Morgan, we're gonna have to podcast in the heat. I'll be like, all right. I just like to be comfortable. I like amenities.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ManChild's podcast. I'm here with Bill. I'm Bill too, and Morgan as well.
Hello.
Oh, I just got like nervous. I didn't know you were doing that.
Stage fright.
I guess I got to pull this closer.
I think everyone likes amenities though. I mean, like, I've had so many fucking cars that have no air conditioning that I'm past the point of like, buying a nice car and then not putting fucking air conditioning in it. Like, I can't believe I was so broke at points where it was like, I just had cars for 3 years
with no air conditioning.
Just didn't have air conditioning, and I would work outside painting houses, hot as fuck all day in the summer, and I'd get my hot car and then sit in traffic on the highway with the windows down, just baking.
And the car was overheating and you had to pull over. I hope I got a jug of water in the back.
Yeah. Actually, my car never overheated, knock on wood.
Or the air conditioner just leaked, so like every now when you found an extra $15, you'd go to AutoZone and get a refill canister.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you'd live like the lavish life of having AC, like, oh, it's great. And then like a week later, you get in, gone again.
I did that shit with Fix-A-Flat too. And I did it to me. I didn't realize you can only do it once. I did it twice, and it fucking hit a pothole. Sound like a gunshot went off.
Really?
Fuck yeah.
I would like to see that.
I had a car with so much Fix-A-Flat in one tire that it was like, dun, 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 dun. It was always making like this crazy noise because
it like didn't level out or it got unlevel.
The tire was rock hard.
Right.
Like, just full of Fix-A-Flat. Just hot stuff.
Yeah.
What about you? Remember one time you fixed a radiator with you put an egg in it?
Yeah, it does work, dude. I heard. I don't even remember where I heard that, but I was at Firefly. And I was driving my girlfriend's car at the time. And actually, when we got there, we turned the car on to like charge our phones or something like that. And something like I went to go take a shit or whatever. And when I came back, like all of those people were just like around with the hood up. And I was like, all right, listen, we're at a music festival. Like, fucking leave it alone. It's probably fine.
Yeah.
So then we go to leave, and I think those things get over with on a Sunday. And it was like
everything's closed,
8 or 9 o'clock, and I get to the first like stoplight or whatever where you're sitting in traffic. I'm like, oh shit, this thing's overheating. So I'm shutting it off. I'm looking for stuff that's open. Go into these auto places that are closed. Only place open is Walmart, and I don't even remember where I heard that, but I bought a dozen eggs. I put 2 in the radiator, threw the rest on the curb, and then just started it up and let it run. And I fucking drove it all the way home from Delaware like that. And
seals it.
It worked. It was like there was
all the way home from Delaware, as in like that's like a what 4-hour drive?
Nah,
like 3. It's like 3 hours. It was
Oh,
Dover.
man,
It was
3
a Dover
hours.
Monster Mile.
Yeah.
To Pennsylvania, and I put in 2 eggs in the radiator, which had a crack in it because then I did change the radiator then. And it fucking rode like a brand new radiator. Where the hell did I hear that from?
I did the trick in college. That's awesome. I never knew that. But
I didn't think it would work, to be completely honest. Like, I don't know what to do. We're in Walmart looking for like that. They actually sell shit that you put in there and it does that job.
Yeah,
but it's like made for that.
Yes.
It's not a fucking egg.
It makes sense. It would just, I guess it would just find the holes and crack and heat up and then seal.
It does ruin it though. It ruins it. I had to go home and then change the radiator and change the thermostat. I took there were scrambled eggs on the thermostat. And that tells that's the thing that tells the motor or the radiator to give us more fluid was like clogged up with scrambled eggs.
Did you try it?
No.
I did
I think antifreeze will kill you.
The bump on the starter. I did the bump on the starter trick, and that worked.
Yes,
actually in front of.
Finally, the sun went down behind the mountains.
It also works on the gas tank. If you go under the car and just punch your gas tank, if you're having
this is a fuel man part of the podcast.
I did do that.
Fuel delivery issues.
Yep. I banged on the
gas
starter.
tank. That works.
Yeah.
Fuel delivery issues.
I did it on the Mustang. My starter went. I banged on it until that didn't work anymore, and then for like a year, I only compression started.
Guys, I gotta be honest.
Like
with you,
I only could park somewhere where I knew I could fucking roll out and compression.
With
start.
my Acura, I carried a broomstick around for a long time because it wouldn't start because that wasn't.
Oh, you would push it?
No, I would sit in a parking lot and just be dead. So I'd even like with girls in the car, I would get out with my broomstick, pop the hood, stick it down into the motor and find the starter and go ping, 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 and get out. and go back in.
That's a lot smarter than what I was doing. I was just crawling underneath it.
Yeah, I crawl underneath it too. I think I got the like the fucking what you call it, the jack, like the little shitty one that comes with the car. It was actually
under a car with one of those on it.
No, without it. I just used it to bang on. Dude, I actually was on the phone with Houston, and I was like, I don't know where it is. And he's like, well, there's a fucking and he actually like literally had such a perfect description. I was in front of two girls too, and I did it. And I was like, try it now, and it fucking started up. And they were like, oh my god! I was like, no problem, ladies. All of the day's work. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even get their number or anything. Stupid.
It was because you were in.
I mean, they weren't that hot. It was just like I'm just like, all right, I'm doing good karma now for later
when you get
somebody
hot.
Else, right? Or no,
or somebody else. Yeah.
Goes around, comes around, man.
Hey, remember that time I banged on your starter?
I'll show you something else I like to bang.
Trying to bang on your starter.
Bill, I want you to tell me, because now you just reminded me. Tell me the story about that miraculous way you got home from that one festival the one time. When the random people picked you up in like a Cavalier, a 2-seater
because
Cavalier.
My good friend Morgan got a hotel 2 miles down the road and didn't think to call me. Dude,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you should feel bad about that. I couldn't believe that.
I've never fucked you over ever.
I got home and I was like, wait, what?
Dude, give us some context.
Well, okay. We went with like 20 people to
hold on.
Bonnaroo.
Wait, how did we find each other? Remember finding each other at Bonnaroo?
Yeah, because you were in Camp Octopussy. I thought some dude was fucking joking. I was like, I don't know, Morgan. They said Octopussy. Like, that's where I'm at.
So Bonnaroo is like, keep me honest here. I mean, it's in Manchester, Tennessee.
I wish I would have went back. Now I'm kind of like too old.
I also go to these things. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear some fucking bass music, crazy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's like, say, it's a couple square miles. It's hard to find people. And I remember my phone, it was one of those things where like,
they were almost dead. Mine was almost dead.
It's 2013. So I think like, it wasn't as like prevalent to have like.
Well, hold on. I was going to go back even farther to get to the end of this story because they all drove, but I worked and I didn't want to take the days that it was going to take to drive. It was like it would have taken 2 extra days just to plan for the drive. So I got plane tickets.
Takes a day to get there. Yeah.
So, but when you flew into Nashville Airport, it was all set up in Bonnaroo or for Bonnaroo. So there was like shuttles that you guys like put on and shipped there like cattle. Same thing to return though. So I was like, you guys, and you didn't. The festival ends Sunday night, but the shuttles run Monday morning. It's late Sunday night, so I was like, you guys we're all gonna hang out, right? We're all gonna camp that Sunday night, and then I won't be alone. Well, Sunday night comes, concerts are all over, everybody wants to leave, and I'm like, fuck, dude. So I just get there. I'm like, all right, whatever, guys. Like, don't feel bad. You know, everybody just takes their shit. I didn't bring anything. Luckily, our one buddy didn't want his tent anymore, so he left it there, and I was like, I'll just sleep in here by myself. All right, I sat there. I asked for one camping chair, one cold soft drink, a soda, and the tent. That's all. And
Never a good negotiator, Bill.
I sat there, and Snarf gave me a fucking joint, and I sat there, and I smoked that, and then I went and tried to lay down and go to bed, but everybody was leaving. People were packing up and leaving, and it was like people were fucked up, dude. Like they're 20-year-old, 21-year-old kids.
Were you worried about getting run over?
Yes.
Like somebody's like, yo, let's crush this tent.
Super
Dude,
smart.
exactly.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yes, because I hear the mayhem, the bedlam that's going on outside. I'm like, dude, our camp looks abandoned. Yeah. There's no one here. That's fine. And I was like, I can't be in this tent right now. Somebody's going to run this fucking thing over while I'm sleeping in it. That would be a horrible way to go. So...
as horrible as it's hilarious to think about, like you
agreed,
and then your head comes out of the tent and like you're rolling in it. Oh my god,
yeah,
dude, it wouldn't have been but like a big truck, like
suffocate.
It'd be like some shitty fucking Honda Civic get caught underneath.
Yeah, just
it's like half tent.
The front bumper
you
just
hear me
you.
like, what if I'm like just get hey, I'm in here. Yeah. So I said fuck that. All I had was a backpack anyway, so. And I'll never forget, I wore those fucking Chuck Taylor old Converse ones. My God. Oh, the Converse Chuck Taylors, right? Duh.
Yep.
And there was no shuttles. I knew that, so I just started walking out this driveway. And it was, I say driveway, it's basically what it is. It's a driveway going into a farm. And it's just lined with cars. I got my backpack, and I just fucking started walking and walking and walking and walking. And I'm like, I was also like the highest I've ever been. I'd like to say that too. And I finally get to somewhere. It's a long walk, and I get to a hotel somehow randomly. And I get to the front door, and the guy doesn't even let me in. He opens up like a crack, and he's like, full capacity. You can't even come in. I'm like, all right, whatever. I figured that. I think I was calling too. I was like, I just need you to give me numbers for taxis. How crazy is that? There was no Uber. 2013 in Tennessee. Yeah. So he gave me a bunch of cards for taxis, and he's like 5 of them. I called 4 of them, and they all said fuck off. I just needed to get to the airport, which was like an hour and a half away. And so the 5th card finally picked up, and I was like, where? They said, where are you? I told them I'm in this whatever hotel parking lot, whatever. We'll be there for you in like an hour and a half. So whatever. 1:30 in the morning, I'm laying down using one of the the concrete things that stop your car from driving any farther in a parking spot as a pillow with my fucking thing, my backpack, and I'm sleeping in the fucking parking lot. And they call me and they're like, "Hey, we're here." And I stand up. It's like 1 in the morning, so there's not a lot of people there. I'm like, I don't see you. I don't see a taxi cab. And they're like, "Oh no, it's the Pontiac Sunfire, 2-door."
Yep.
2-door Pontiac Sunfire picks me up.
What a car.
There's already 2 chicks from like the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee in there. They're whoop my ass probably. Mm-hmm. And so like they have to like want us to get out, open, like pull the seat forward, and I have to get in the back. My knees are scrunched and shit. It's $100 they were going to charge me for that ride, and I didn't have that money. So I was like, you guys actually have to take me to an ATM first. And they were like, man, I don't know. So they do. And then they take me to a gas station, and the ATM is out of order. And I was like, listen, I'm sorry. I know you probably don't want to go any farther. I'll call somebody else. I was like, nah, don't worry. We'll take you. Take me. I get the $100. Fall out asleep in the back of that car immediately. And I'm holding this $100 in my hand like a fist because because actually I shouldn't say immediately because I did drive around for like 10 minutes and it's like you're in the back. I'm like, dude, we're not even on a highway yet. This is it. This is the end. This is the end for me. This is how I get my fucking.
It is like in the middle.
This is how my
of
organs
it's on a
get
farm,
harvested.
Dude. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere, back roads, completely pitch black. I'm like, dude, I'm in fucking Tennessee with these 2 random people that they say they're a taxi. I don't know. So I'm clenching this $100, fall asleep. I wake up, hey buddy, you're here, and I'm like, wow, I'm at the fucking airport, and I wake up and I cannot find the $100, and they start getting pissed, and I'm like, oh, I'll be right back, and they're like, nah, hold on. Finally, underneath the seat, I did find the $100. Okay, so I did all that. I got to the airport, Nashville International Airport at like such a random time at like 3 a.m. that the front doors were open. You couldn't go anywhere else. So like I walked in, and then you walk 20 feet, and then those doors were locked or some shit. So then, which is actually kind of odd. So I was like, fuck it, and I just fell asleep by this pillar that had an outlet so I could plug my phone in, and I just slept by that until a police officer at 6 a.m. kicked me, and he's like, hey, buddy, you got to move. And then I fucking went and slept by my terminal till my flight. All that to find out Morgan got in a car, drove out that fucking driveway for 5 minutes to a hotel where he took a shower and slept in a nice warm bed until he got up and left the next day while I was going through all that.
That's all true. Right. But if you give you my context of this story.
Actually, I'm glad that you made me tell that story again because I don't want to forget that.
The context of the story for me is so that was also a weekend that I almost died, right? We were doing at this time cocktails of extracurricular. How do you say that?
I don't know. What are you?
Extracurricular.
Activities.
Extracurricular. Just call it extra credit.
Right. And I met this other kid who gave me pure MDMA, which I've never done before, tested, pure black. Okay. And we're going to see, this is also something I haven't told in a while either. We're going to see Pretty Lights, right? And, you're partying all this. Also, first, I don't know who's going to.
That's how I became an XX fan.
I did not enjoy the XX. But anyway, I mean, this is also times where you're drinking, you're smoking weed, you're doing God knows what all day long. And this is a 4-day festival, right? So, for me at least, even at that time when I'm 22 years old, by day 2, I'm like, I could go home. Like I'm beat up.
Now.
No, at 22, I could go home on day 2. Because I'm like, dude, it's 4:00 in the morning. I'm still up. I go to bed at 5, and it's the middle of Tennessee. I'm sleeping in a tent, and I was never in the fucking military. Okay, I'm not a fucking Green Beret. All right, I am a civilian. So
I felt it bad though at the last festival you did. The last one we camped, we went to Camp Bisco. It was a boys trip. That one, by like into the next day, I was like, ooh.
I could take that over this, but dude, it's Tennessee. If you've never been to Tennessee or you've never slept outside of Tennessee, more is what most people will say, is that
you don't really sleep.
By 7 a.m.,
so
it is
hot.
scorching hot. You cannot sleep. And I tried to sleep till like 8:30 in the tent, just dripping sweat. So I did that. I'm running on like 6 hours of sleep for 4 days. I almost died at a festival where I got pure MDMA. I took it right before the XX. We waited in line, and there's like 4 or 5 stages at one time, right? And I'll never forget this, right? Who is the stage right next to us? Paul McCartney. Dude, we missed the fucking Beatles to see Pretty Lights.
Yeah,
and I'll never forget this one girl who remained unnamed. She goes, well, it was only like one of the Beatles. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We basically missed fucking Elvis.
Yeah.
I've already seen Pretty Lights.
Yeah, and I saw him many times after that.
So,
too.
yeah, I take... Well,
although it was nice to see the XX, it's sad that you didn't enjoy that.
I mean, I enjoyed it
I would
somewhat.
like to add, none of this has anything to do with you fucking letting me... Oh, yeah.
Yes, it does.
I made
Yes,
a
it
comment
does.
about the fucking
Yes, it does.
Converses. You know why? Because we're going to add a little bit of hardness to this. My feet bled. That's as far I walked. So I didn't I couldn't really paint that picture of how much I walked, but my feet bled.
Walking. Yeah, like if you look at think of like a 4-box quadrant, like the actual event is one of them and the other 3 are just camping. It's massive, right? Mm-hmm. It takes you, no joke, if you're like, hey, I'm going to go back, like it's a 45-minute walk back. So like that's like a major decision. You have to like, oh, who am I going to miss? What am I going to do? So the reason I'm telling this is because this is like 2 nights before, the night before this happened. This is night 3, Pretty Lights. I take this MDMA that's pure black. And what does everybody do if you've ever taken MDMA or Molly or whatever, is you take a little bit and then what does everybody do? They go, it's been an hour. I guess I'll take more. It's not working, right? So I take more. Within 5 minutes, it is the hardest I've ever been on drugs in my entire life. And I just have this mental realization like,
you didn't look good.
Oh my God, I've never done this much this time. And I just took more than that. So I just more than doubled what I'm already on right now. Like I'm going to freak the fuck out. I'm going to die. Right? I'm no sleep. I have not enough water. I've been drinking. I've been doing God knows what all goddamn day. The heat is unbelievable. The humidity. And I'm surrounded by my friends and I'm just trying to fucking
keep it
white
together.
knuckle my way through this fucking situation, dude. And there's a point where I swear on anything, on the Bible, dude, I was a second away from saying, you have to take me to a medical tent. I am not going to survive. I don't know what happened, dude. I think the XX literally came on like right after that
Gave you
happened.
something to look at.
And it was just something to do.
XX
And it was so slow. I mean, it was cool, but it was so slow. But then Pretty Lights came on and finally like, got me out of this funk, right?
It's made me happy.
But it was like, I remember like coming back and like Lil Jon looked at me like, he was like, you all right? I'm like, no, like, I'm not all right. Like I was just in like a catcher's position. Like I just like, give me water. Like I sucked all my water dry. And keeping in mind, we missed Paul McCartney.
That's because we had to get that spot.
We were waiting in like very close. So like if you left, there was a sea of people. Like people would not let you pass.
Yes, I went to go take a piss. I was the last person that was gonna come back. When I came back, I was like, listen, I almost didn't get to you. Just bodies. I'm just talking.
Yeah.
That's the only obstacle is bodies.
Yeah.
So I was like, no one else can leave. So we were like holding up towels and shit for girls to just squat and piss. And like we were all just pissing.
And thankfully,
yeah, it's pretty gross.
And thankfully, where we set up, it was a weird spot. Like it was like a little box, and then right behind us was another like metal box, like VIP would stand.
Oh, we pissed all over it. No, those guys were like, "Oh, I got the VIP," and they were holding up to this railing, and they're just using that like, I can lean on this, and we're just like, dude, I'm pissing on that.
And but that's what saved me. I think is I could lean up against the back and kind of like breathe and like calm the fuck down. Anyhow, I survived.
What's
so
any of this have to do with you
I'm
leaving me at the hotel?
I'm getting to it. So this is where my brain is at.
A lot
Day
like
3.
me
The
over
next
here.
day. Well, I'm just getting some context. So the next fucking day, right, is like, I think we did some other shit, and then it was like Tom Petty, who I never got to see. I missed because I slept the entire day. I was
Tom
completely.
Petty.
So basically,
At least I saw Tom Petty.
The reason why I left Bill and the next day I was completely done. I was just like, whatever we're doing, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to sleep. It rained a little bit, whatever. I am a shell of myself. I am not me. I'm operating at 5%. And I'm like, just whatever, like, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then they're making a decision where I was like, let's go now. I'm like, all right. I'm like, Bill, sorry, man. I'm leaving. I left.
That was a funny
we
thing.
We
That
had
was a funny
no
thing for them. That was a funny thing to be like, what is being voted on by 20 people? Well, like, we can't really do this. We'll leave Bill. One guy was like, I mean, that's kind of Morgan's buddy.
Yeah, people are dickheads. And I was like, I guess we'll have to go, dude. I'm sorry, man. Like, you gonna be all right? And Bill, of course, it wouldn't just be like, no, dude, fuck you. He'll just be like, yeah, I'm good. Let me get one bottle of water and a joint. I'm fine.
Soda.
And, soda.
Soda. It was a bar.
And dude, we had no intention.
Actually, you know what happened to that? I actually took a walk. I walked first before I came back to go to bed to see if they were running the shuttles, just to ask. And when I came back, the camp next to us had ransacked our camp because they thought we left, so they took my soda and like threw it on the ground and shit. And I walked over to them. The chair was gone too. And I was like, "Hey, did you like take that stuff? I was actually still staying here." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm so sorry." I was like, they gave me the chair, and I was like, "Oh man, do you have that soda though?" And they handed it to me, full of fucking grass and empty because they threw it in the goddamn ground.
I wouldn't open it for like 20 minutes, man.
No, I had it open. They just threw it on the trash on the ground. Anyway, so then I sat and I was just like, "Fuck, man."
I don't even remember. So we left, dude, and like I had no intention. I was like, I thought we were just gonna drive and get back. And then like 5-10 minutes into the drive, Lil John's like, "We should get a hotel." And I was like, oh,
"You guys planned on driving all the way home?"
That was a plan. I don't remember ever. There was never a plan.
That's actually a worse plan than what he had originally.
Well, I don't think I think it was gonna be like, let's go as far as we can, and then we'll get a hotel. So the next day's work.
You guys were in no condition to be driving.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I'm in no condition to do anything. I would never abandon my friend, especially Bill, dude. And I didn't even, dude. It did not even occur to me that was a thing that I left him. Like until like
it was later. Good until I realized that 20 minutes down the road there.
And then I realized and I didn't even. I was so shocked, dude. I'd taken a shower and being in an air condition in like a shitty Motel 6, like that folded bed.
That sounds amazing, though.
Oh
Dude.
By the time he was showering, I was sleeping in a parking lot. That's what was going down.
So that's why I saw context. Because it wasn't like I was like just hanging out, like doing yoga, which also happens at fucking Bonnaroo, like this clear state of mind. Like, well, actually, we should take Bill with us too. Airport's on the way.
It wasn't on the way. That was never a thing.
Yeah. That was just, dude, that's like, I have
actually have another funny fucking more recent festival story that you won't know anything about.
Because I was drunk asleep.
He was drunk asleep. Dude, we went to Camp Bisco when they had it here at Montage Mountain. And it was a guy's trip. Only like 5 of us went.
Yeah.
It was
like 2018, right?
In my head, yeah. And in my head, I was like, this is my last hurrah tenting. I'm done with the campers.
That was the last time I saw Nectar, too.
Right. I'm done with that. So I'm going to do it good, be done with it. Was it night 1? The rain?
Yeah.
Night 1. We had a great time, partied and fucking watched whoever we watched. Come back and everybody's talking about it. It's the talk of the festival is, oh, see the rain's coming, whatever. A little bit of rain, whatever. Well, what they do at this festival at Montage Mountain, which is a ski slope and a place where they have a concert venue, like that's an actual concert venue. They have a big stage with a building there and everything, but then they make it, they go into the water park section and then they make it there's more stages in there. Kind of cool, actually. You can be in the wave pool while you're at like Base Nectar.
Yeah.
Anyway, where you camp, though, is the ski slopes. So very steep and shit and shitty. So we get a fucking monsoon that night. It's raining bad. Thunder, lightning, wind, insane. Morgan is passed out drunk on the air mattress. I think we're all trying to sleep, maybe. And it's raining, and it's raining, and it's raining, and it's raining. Well, now it's flooding. It's a river that all these tents on. People's tents are flying down. Now, next thing you know, there's actually a river flowing in the middle of my tent. So I'm like, okay, sleeping is over.
But this is a 16-person tent. This is a massive tent.
Bill
and I, before this festival, he came to my house. We practiced setting it up in the dark. Like we were like, fuck, remember that?
Yeah, yes.
We practiced setting up because we were like, and first of all, we got there super
early.
early.
It was just me and you.
Just Bill and I.
Just me and you the first night. This is the second night when they all got there.
It is the second night.
Yeah. And that doesn't matter. What matters is this monsoon came, and these tents were not fucking made for it. Yeah. And we were on a cliff, so the water is coming and washing people's shit from the top of the mountain into your camp. Your camp is fucking flooding down to the bottom of the mountain. The wind is blowing. Now the tent is filling up with water. So you're like, all right, it's 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. You're taking my air mattress. I'm putting that in the corner with all my things that I need to keep dry. Now I have to stay there for 2 more days. I'm stacking it up in the corner. Crispy now is with us, and he's we were doing the same thing. Lil Jon, same thing. Now the tent is filling up with water on the top. It's coming in.
Snarf had his own tent, right?
Snarf had his own tent that was perfectly waterproof and slept through the whole fucking thing. And that's my problem with you and him, actually, because Morgan's in the tent with me right now with Crispy and Lil Jon.
All the way on the end, though.
All the way on the end, and it's filling up with water. And there's a river running through it. Some of it's puddling up where he's sleeping. But me and Crispy and Lil Jon cannot move because the only reason the tent's staying standing is because 3 of us were awake. And we were all moving around, pushing water off the sides where it's fucking a corner would fall in, run over there, and push it back up. It's like it was like being on a sinking ship for hours. And I just remember the sun came out of the storm front and he stopped. And I was just sitting there in the fucking beginning of the front of the tent. Everybody went to get breakfast. And I was like, oh my God, I would love to go home right now. That was a fucking nightmare. Meanwhile, though, in the middle of all that, Morgan is passed out. I mean, I'm slapping him in the face. Like, people are like, he's got to get up. Morgan's got to give up. This is insane. Like, my shoes are at the bottom of the mountain. We just lost everything. And he will not wake up. He didn't wake up. That's the end of the story. There is no like, oh, he came to and was like
music
amazed
festivals
by it.
are a little much.
At one point, I was like, dude, honestly, he might be drowning, and we all started laughing.
I feel bad for you guys, but selfishly, I woke up.
He wasn't even wet.
I wasn't wet.
So refreshed.
None of my shit got ruined at
Everything
all.
on the fucking mattress loaded up, and you didn't get wet.
The only thing
Dude,
the only thing that happened is I lost my shoe for like 2 minutes, and I found it. That was the only thing that was wet.
That's whose shoe.
My
I said
one
that because I
shoe.
do remember that. Somebody's shoe fucking
my
washed
shoe.
out.
I lost one shoe. That was the only thing that was wet on my entire body.
Yeah, that was the last time.
I mean, dude, I could have just been woken up and just been like everything ruined. So I would have had to go home.
If we all did what you did, we would have the tent would have collapsed long ago, and then like you'd been waking up by a tent material straight on your face, but soaking wet, like being waterboarded. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, those are crazy. I will never.
I will never do that again. That is a weird experience. Do we actually not really? Because Hudson was the same way.
Yeah, but
fucking Red Cross came in.
If you're gonna go to a music festival, take it from Bill and I and anybody else. Go to a fucking festival where you can camp. You have your car next to your campsite. All of this happened because we had to drag our shit from a parking lot to a bus to our campsite. I need to fight for a spot like fucking what do you call it? Like the Oklahoma Sooners, where they like just give you land, but you're like the first one, you stake your claim. Because we got it right by the fucking porta potties and like not that steep. Because dude, they go up so high. You remember some people, dude? It was like it's a.
Me and you got a spot because we went right by the porta potties.
I'm gonna fuck it.
Hey y'all, ain't nobody want to hang out with y'all by the shitters, and I was like, honestly, I got a short walk to shit.
And it was actually a great spot.
Wait, who said that to you?
Some dude from like West Virginia that was camped next to us. What was his name? Some weird name, like Memphis.
Yeah. He coined the term Malaketacane.
Was his name Houston?
No, he had to create. It's like Chandler or some bullshit.
No, it wasn't like that. It was something weird.
I don't know, dude. But it was yeah, fuck that shit, dude. That's a young man's game.
Right. I was so over it. I mean, that was different. It wasn't even just like too much partying. I was just up all night working to make sure the tent didn't collapse.
Different
this is
from
trash.
Me. I woke up and got a fucking Shady Grove wrap, and I was like, all right, who's playing? What starts at 11, dude?
Go.
Yeah. Yeah, those are all kind of fun. I mean, it really sucks that COVID really shut that. I was like just thinking, I was like, I haven't seen a live show in
I was supposed
a
to
year
see
and a half.
Rage Against the Machine twice last year. That was actually the one thing. I didn't care about anything else that I missed out on. That was actually something I would have liked to have done.
Yeah, I mean, like, are they really gonna make COVID fucking passports a thing where like you have
For sure.
Yeah, but I'm worried about like shows, like even like Bill Burr's show and shit. He has a show in fucking for the 9th. I still have tickets. $96. But I'm like, are they gonna make me fucking pay? I got to show a vaccine passport? Like,
Dude, for his show, maybe. Listen
I don't think
to that podcast is just like watching CNN.
You don't think there's a HIPAA violation with having vaccine passports?
dude, I don't think they.
I had to
give
get my
a shit.
temperature taken to go into the fucking bank.
Well, they do that for. I mean, to go to the gym every morning. They.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
gun
think
you.
there's much. It's either.
I don't mind that. Whatever.
Yeah, but health records. We're talking about health records, not taking a temperature.
I'm with you, dude. And I
I
think
thought the passport would
honest-
just be like the scarlet fever, yellow fever thing.
But technically, that's still health records, is it not?
saying that you do or don't have yellow fever. That's all it's for.
I'm saying you don't have a vaccine.
Say your medical history a vaccination is considered your
None of you guys have kids.
I would like to think that. Yeah, I would like to think.
But do you
that
have to prove? Like, I'm asking this. Like, I don't know if you know this. Like, I don't know this. I'm like, so let's say like we all went to public school. So like, did our parents have to prove that we were vaccinated to go to public school?
I think so.
Well, then that's not that big of a deal. But when you make it a big deal, like,
remember when you were in elementary school, you had to go like your physical, and like sometimes you got shots.
Should I call my mom? Have her be the first guest.
Maybe
we already had a guess.
What's the matter? What are you doing?
Do you guys want a beer? Because I got to pee. You can fucking chat while
I'll
you're.
take one. I'll just deal with the heat. Where are we at? 30. Wow, it's a lot. It's like all festival stories.
Yeah, all. I said like 3 words this whole podcast.
Well, I mean, like I feel bad I left the guy, but like I had to tell my side of the story, right? It wasn't like he made it seem like I'm a cold. You know me, I'm not a fucking cold-blooded person. I feel bad if I do anything. Who's calling you?
No, I'm not insinuating that you're a cold person. I'm just insinuating it was
Fucking left you.
negligence.
I know. I still, when you bring it up though, I feel bad. You should feel bad.
Boom, 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 boom.
Wow, 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 wham, wham, wham. Yeah, I don't know. Getting to be too old for that shit. But then again, there's people who go. It's like they just do it right. Like they're not just like they go and they have a couple beers and they're not like. I think of festivals is like completely like you can just let loose. I also had a beard last night. I had a dream last night that I had a full beard like you had, and it like filled in. And it was like, you look like right now with your hair backwards and the beard, like you look like those ex-Navy SEAL dudes who are like protecting the embassies and fucking God knows where, some godforsaken place.
Contractors? Look like contractor, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would have been easier to explain. I wonder how much money they make. Not enough.
Yeah, sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes maybe it could be like 60 to 80K for deployment.
Way. It's got more than that.
Well, if you're
to go to where?
If you're security, like if you're a security force, that's not that much. That's bottom rung for contractors.
Sounds like boys in here. My mom used to say.
Yeah, I know, dude. This is only gonna get worse, but like whatever. Like I said, we're just gonna be the shirtless podcast.
Bro, we'll figure it out. You're throwing a temper tantrum about this.
I'm not. I'm
You're an ego.
I'm just a fucking.
You're barefoot and you're telling us you're gonna get naked.
I got pants
It's gonna be a
on.
protest.
I'm just a planner, dude. That's all. Oh, I just spit all over the mic. I'm just a planner. That's all. That's why there's 3 of us, right? Just get the little fucking, little odd couple thing.
I held the mic the whole time so far.
Yeah, it's
You did
way
very
better.
good.
You look good like that.
Oh yeah, it's all for aesthetics.
Until we find out that the mic picks up like every single little ruffle
movement. Yeah, this podcast totally ruined.
It's the whole first 30 minutes.
It's one of my better talking point.
Yeah,
I
this is
talked
great,
for a while.
dude.
Yeah.
I wish you guys had enough festival stories to do an entire couple hundred worth of podcast for. Because then I would never have to. I would just be like, I would just say the intro and then I'd pass it off.
Well, it probably is, but there's a lock and key on those stories, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised I even said what I said, but I mean, there's other things that have gone on. I feel like Molly's like you shouldn't be doing it. I feel like it's really died down from people taking it. At least maybe I'm older, I'm not around it anymore.
Maybe, yeah.
But I mean, like, it's
it.
just like anything people start talking about shit that's like when you're snorting things up your nose or you're shooting things in your veins. It's like, I'm out, dude. I don't want to be involved in that.
Right.
But really,
I remember the one. This wasn't a festival. This was just a one night show, and we were down in Philly, which is crazy because I know you guys have way more stories about this too. But like the trust we had for strangers with drugs, like think the people we bought them off.
Just kidding.
the people we buy our drugs off of.
no, just random
Dude,
people.
and we were down at Bro Safari at what the fuck was that thing called? The some Electric Factory or something?
Yeah, it wasn't the Electric Factory.
And then I remember, like, we're all just like,
That place only had a cool name. There wasn't really anything cool
It was in
about
the
it.
ghetto, dude.
but yeah, but that was a good show that whole night. Though.
For
I had a great
sure.
fucking time.
I came from the Black Keys to that show. I got a fucking Uber from the Black Keys at Wells
'cause
Fargo
I didn't know
Center
you were
to
coming. You
that.
were just like, Bill.
Yeah, I
right
just
next
showed
to me.
up.
But then we're
Back
in the
when I was fucking cool. God damn it, my life's boring.
dude.
Yeah, I agree. Mine's boring
You
too.
went from the Black Keys to an EDM show.
Yeah,
in
same
Philly, and party with your buddies.
Yeah,
and
it was,
now
the Black Keys was like for all ages, so it was like 8 to 10.
and now you're pumped when the spackling job you thought was going to take you 2 days only takes.
Oh
you
yeah,
one.
I'm like, wow, I'm better than I thought.
We separate ourselves from that too. I mean, like if we
Well, I got to the point where I
lived
was
in
doing-
Philly or New York, like I feel like there's more opportunities.
I got to the point
Here
where I
was,
was
like, an
doing
event.
it, and I was like,
what I
this
mean?
isn't as much fun as it used to be. I don't want to be up front anymore. I kind of want to just observe. I don't want to be dancing. I don't know.
I
It's
was
just-
never the upfront guy. I used to be like into metal, but like I never was even the mosh pit guy. Like I remember going to like a fucking crazy like
Plus,
show at the
even
Croc
when we
Rock.
were young and we would go to concerts or whatever, I always wanted to be in the back because then you can just walk to the pisser and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted to have room too.
I mean, it was cool. There's times like I remember like being like fucked up and like just going through the crowd. Especially Bassnecker. It so sucks that he's like a
Back then I didn't care. I could like shut off that those people were humans. And I could just be like, I'm walking past you and I don't care. About you.
No, but I was so
Plowing through
No,
you.
I was not plowing through them at all. I remember tapping people on the shoulder, be like, and they would just.
Well, you would tap, but you would also be like already.
I'm tapping. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
going.
Well, 'cause
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
definitely a couple times where like you would be like, "Hey man, can I get through to a dude?" And he'd be like, "No," and you'd be like, "Okay, then lower my shoulder."
I don't know if that ever happened to me.
Really?
Or they
you
just
never had somebody go, "No."
Or
Yeah,
I
but
would
you're
just,
just.
or I would just go.
You just go though. You just,
Yeah.
Or I would just go around and be like, well, this guy's gonna let me. So
Well, no, if he
I'll
tell- if
find
he-
my way.
Right.
If he tells me no, I'm definitely going through him now.
Right.
I mean, there's yeah, it's
Anyway.
dude, now think about that with COVID. Sorry, go back.
Back to the whole story about Pro Safari. We were up on the balcony, and it was like 20 minutes in or whatever, and I still don't really feel anything. And then all of a sudden, like this next song just starts. This next
Damn it.
This next song just sounds super amazing, and I notice everybody around me is. I feel like we're all dancing more. That we were like last song, we were just standing, and then all of a sudden, everyone's starting to bob their head and stuff. And then Morgan looks at me and he runs his fingers through his hair and he goes, "Some good ass Molly, dude." And it was like, dude. The moment he said that was the moment I was thinking that in my head. I was like, "Oh, it's starting," and then Morgan says that, and it's like it hit him the exact moment that he did.
Well,
that
people, it's really hard to describe because like that come up is like a lot different than like other things where like it's like almost like you don't know. And I would explain it like it's like almost like you're getting under a mister, but you're not getting wet. I don't know how to explain it. Like you're almost like skin tingles. Like you just feel like kind of like I would feel like that. I feel like almost like the
the
fucking
tingle,
hair on the
the
back
tingle.
of my
Yeah,
neck.
it's like anything. The fun part of getting drunk is getting drunk.
No, but I'm just talking about
That
Molly
fucking
specifically.
stinks.
Yeah, it does stink.
Molly
It
specifically is
mixes
different.
in with the smell of this three dudes stinking.
I
You don't like it?
I don't get why why can't the window just be cracked?
You don't like to smell that? Wow, I got to you.
It's not bad.
I don't smell anything, dude. You got bird dogs. Are those worth it? Those are short. Give me like a knee kick. How high can you? I don't want to see your butt.
Yeah, what was that? I was waiting for him to kick, and he just
I just
never
want to
did.
see like how far you can get your knee
just
up.
showed
You
his
turn around
ass.
like a fucking. Let's do a spin, honey.
I'm used to my mom, dude, the turnaround thing in the dressing room. When I wanted to go home so bad, and she'd be like, "Turn around," and there would be girls my age working at the dressing room,
Oh, the
and my mom
worst.
would be like, "It's not any too big." That's what she used to say. It's like, Mom, just give me the Jinko jeans. Let's get out of here.
My parents would let me buy Jinko jeans, and thank God they did.
Thank God,
Yeah.
let me do
I
it.
really
Let me
wanted
do it.
them.
I
dude.
wanted them too.
My,
Let
my
me
dad
get
was like,
leaves,
absolutely.
It was like the little guy with he had fire.
Gumby.
Hair, yeah.
His head was on fire.
What?
Gumby
Oh,
was
oh.
not on Jinko.
No, I was saying you look like Gumby because you had no feet. It was just cover your fucking
They were
shoes. dude.
stupid. Holy shit.
Stupid jeans, dude.
Yeah. You had to be like kind of like that was like that. Like you had to be like extreme. Yo, Spotify, the player sucks. I was listening to Joe Rogan and I was like, I
Joe
play
Rogan
it,
had to have lost viewers from Spotify. It's the worst.
dude. I listened to it. I was like, let's say I'm 20 minutes left. I previously before I left the place, it was at 46. I pause it or someone called me, but if I go on, it cuts back to 40. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's like I give up on it when that
They
happens.
also
too.
pulled some of the episodes too.
Did they put them back?
No, it's a new thing. They pulled like 40 episodes.
Which ones?
Ben Shapiro.
No, they're weird ones, dude. There's like you can here Google it if you can Google it quickly. I mean, there's like it's like there's a couple ones like Alex Jones. They did ones with like there's a guy like some of the guys who like did racist shit or Joe Rogan podcast pulled removed from Spotify. Continues to delete episodes. See right there. So okay, so we're reading. We're saying Spotify continues to delete episodes. Joe Rogan Experience podcast. I mean 42. Did I say 42?
Is it 40?
God damn, I got a good memory.
Spotify, the Swedish audio streaming giant, continues to remove episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience from its platform.
He's got to
We're
leave.
not going to read all of them, but here we go. Gavin McGinnis, that's the guy from the Proud Boys. Milo,
Yeah,
Eddie Bravo.
Conspiracy monger Eddie Bravo.
What? Dude, I mean, there's no way Joe Rogan stays here.
$100 million says he does.
Well, he can get his money and still be done when the contract.
I feel like the dude is
What was the
worth
contract for, you think?
10 years, $100 million. I mean, you can void your contract. You can get out, but I mean,
do you have to pay them back, or
fuck
do what's
yeah,
yours
sure.
is earned?
Dude, when you're having that much money, I mean, that's like a pro athlete like clause. Like if you, I'm sure there's clauses for everything. If you stay on for, we have
Remember
a
when he
buyout option.
didn't do it yet, and they're like, "Really, you're gonna do that?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, but I signed. It's perfect. They can't do anything.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do anything."
I mean, it's pretty, in my opinion, it's pretty ignorant to think that they're gonna pay you $100 million just let you do whatever.
and not control you.
I mean, they're gonna. I mean, look, I'm just playing devil's advocate. There's like what 1,600 episodes or something. They pulled 42. I mean, that's like less than what was that 5%? Less than 5%.
right, but that's
So-
just a very slippery slope.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, hey, dude, you're like, oh, you don't want to do that? It's like, well, do you remember where we pay you like $100 million? This shit's going. Like, shareholder price is plummeting. Okay, need more viewers. And apparently, like, a lot more people don't listen. Like, I don't listen to podcasts. That's the only podcast I listen to is ours, and I listen to it once. People, I'm not a fucking egomaniac. And then I listen to Joe Rogan's. Everything else I listen to like a podcast app on Apple. It's just easier. I don't need the video.
Only Joe Rogan. I listen to.
What are the other ones?
And
Keep
Tim
going.
Dillon.
Does it show
Listen
it?
to Tim Dillon on Spotify.
Nope, I think it's.
The one I saw it showed
Dude, that picture cracks me up.
John Wayne Gacy.
That's on
What a great
Peacock.
head of hair he's got.
Man, they just really
Yeah, they're
made
catching
him
him.
look terrifying.
As they should.
Yeah.
I think it's all about the eyes, dude. Yeah, oh, here we go. Chris D'Elia, Brian Redman,
Who's this guy? Who's David Seaman?
No idea.
Sorry,
I didn't know Chris D'Elia was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
David Asprey, founder of Bulletproof Coffee. Yeah, God only
Chris
knows.
D'Elia started making his podcast again. He brought it back. No sponsors or anything. He started making this. He's starting to like post on Instagram again. He's slowly starting to just come back.
Well, apparently, Base Nectar's shit is a civil. I think Base Nectar's shot. He's totally done. There's women. I remember listening to a recording where like a girl who was like,
I don't think people are into his music anymore.
Talking to him. Yeah, I know, but I mean, I was just thinking, I was like, I never had so much fun than at like Base Nectar shows, to be honest.
Right, but it's almost like old person music at this point.
No, it's not.
I don't think the kids are listening to that anymore.
What are kids? Are you? What do you have your fucking ear to the ground with what kids are listening to, Bill? How many
That's
fucking
those
19-year-olds do you know, man?
But with those kind of artists like Bass Nectar, that's how they make money, live shows. They don't hit Billboard Top 100. They don't get on the radio. They don't get on fucking Saturday Night Live to make it.
Right, but
they don't get iTunes purchases. They make their money from tickets and merchandise. And I'm saying that when their generation is done,
electronic music is still around.
yes, it is, but not Bass Nectar and not Pretty Lights. Those
Bass
guys
Nectar's-
are not sought after anymore.
I think Pretty Lights comes back for a show once COVID's over.
all the 30-year-olds
I'm fucking going.
Right, all the 30-year-olds are gonna go for sure, 100%.
I don't know, dude. I think that it was like, I've seen lots of crazy people at the show, but dude, there's a recording I listened to. It happened on last 4th of July. I woke up and I was at my dad's house in Delaware, and it fucking happened. And it was like a recording that was like 7. Now I think she's like 20, but she's like, because his name's Lauren Ashley. He was like, you like, you know, groomed me when I was 16. You could hear it's clearly him on the voice, like, well, you know, don't say anything. Like, I could go to jail. I could potentially go to prison and be raped. So you can't. This is like him saying this. I'm like, and that's why I listened to that. It was like a middle recording. I'm like, he's done. It's over. He just admitted to it. And he's still selfishly not even saying I'm sorry. He's just like, well, don't say anything because I'm going to get in trouble.
Don't you love me, baby?
Well, what?
Do they charge him with human trafficking? You know what human trafficking is, though, which I learned? Is like
Transporting one person
They
to another.
charge him?
across state line.
Yeah.
But it's a civil.
They charge Bass Nectar with human trafficking?
Look it up. It's like civil, but it's a civil, which is like civil is like you want money. Criminal, I think, is like different, right? Are you guys aren't? Wait, you guys aren't attorneys? You don't know this shit?
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Yeah, if it's like a civil thing, I think that it's like for money, and criminal is like you go to jail. Is that right?
Sounds right. Sounds
I
right.
think so, right? Because like OJ got away with murder, but he lost in the civil court.
But you know why he has all his money still?
Has it?
You know why he still has money? Because his financial advisor had him invest in life insurance, which builds cash value that the feds can never touch no matter what. And he's living off the cash value of life insurance funds. So that's why you should have
The juice.
The juice. He's like golfing. I mean, he's like such
Hey,
a
Twitter
psychopath.
world. That was some funny shit when that.
God, this.
Then he thought he saw Sasquatch and nobody ever heard of him again.
I mean, of
he's
anybody,
like a firm
of
believer that
anybody
he-
who exists, why would that guy not see Sasquatch? He's a Canadian. It's like he's literally a guy who is by himself in the woods for set. Dude, the one time he was in the jungle, I'm telling you, dude, it sounded like a jaguar was over his shoulder. Like that would be scary. I don't know what would be worse, dude. I think the jungle is probably the scariest thing for me at nighttime. Imagine hearing all that shit, all the noises, jungle come alive, your bugs and shit.
I think it would be the bugs that get you first. Bugs,
That's probably what would kill you.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't even know if they'd kill you, but it'd be the first thing to fucking freak me the fuck out. Like, I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm just gonna stand up all night, dude. Do you ever see that shit? Like the centipedes that are crawling across the jungle
insane.
floor. They're as big as my fucking leg. Oh, no problem. They won't harm you. It's like, buddy.
yeah. So a guy like that who stayed there. So you're telling me like there's like we all act like these like native people are so like, oh, they're backwards or whatever. It's like no, like they have their, you know, they're connected to the forest and shit in the jungle more than we are. Like, they're not stupid. Like you're telling me they don't hear about this weird shit going on. There's not the fucking goat man or these like weird shit that's happening.
Well,
that's all
Goat Man
bullshit.
And Sasquatch might be different.
But I'm saying it's like they call
Goat
them.
Man is a goddamn.
They call them skinwalkers, dude.
demon.
The Native Americans called them skinwalkers. Same thing. They're like
What?
skinwalkers. They're like fucking demons, basically, who can mimic animals. They can mimic human beings. There's that Skinwalker Ranch in New Mexico. They made a fucking documentary about it, dude. It's freaky as shit.
What, dude?
You never heard about that? Look up
No.
Skinwalker Ranch, dude. It's like it's also I think it's like one of them. Like for instance, like Florida is like top like 10 times the amount of lightning strikes anywhere else in the U.S. It's like this spot in New Mexico. It's like 10 times the amount of like alien sightings than anywhere else in the U.S. or on the planet. It's like certain areas where it's like shit's happening and they can't figure out what's happening. And I'm like, dude, you would not fucking. Let me ask you this question. So if you get that house up there, right? $1 million house, right? You can get it for like half off, but you know there was like a quadruple homicide, like a dad killed his whole family. Would you buy it and live there?
Yes.
I would not.
I would. 100%. Unless I thought if you were going to say if you 100% knew that it was like haunted. And
Okay, well,
possessed
no,
by
I would.
demons.
Okay, let's say it is haunted because I would not live in.
Well, that's different though. Like you prove it to me. Like I go in there and I watch you become
can't prove
possessed,
it. Nothing's
and then like in
No,
every,
that's
like
not-
in every single fucking Conjuring movie, I actually go to hell to like retrieve your soul, and like I go through all that, and I'm like, and then you're like at the end of it, well, Bill, $1 million house, you want 500 grand? I'd be like, no, I don't.
You know what though? I guess.
But if you just said, hey, these people you never met killed,
I guess
it'd be
you're
hard.
right. I guess
not to
that is a significant amount of money.
It'd be hard not.
I'm
to
saying you have to
Google
live there.
that,
I'm
though.
not saying like you guys are. I know you guys are like, well, I live there and then I buy it and then I flip it and sell it for 1.2. Like you can't. You have to live there.
Wait.
for a
I
little
think
bit.
though that I would still have to specify to the people that I'm trying to sell to that happened.
Do you?
I don't. I think in certain states.
You tell me. Have you ever sold a house that people
I
died
don't know.
in?
I don't think it's something that I've never.
I think
researched
it
that-
definitely is by state. I guarantee it.
What?
Look
Like,
it up.
like you have to say.
I think there's
something?
some weird shit to Louisiana, like
I
Louisiana.
don't know.
I actually want to know this.
Because, dude, I can tell you this: my house has no bad. I never feel uncomfortable in my house, and that's like you can't put a price on a peace of mind. Like I used to be freaked out in some people's houses. Like I would be like, "Hear shit." I feel
People
weird.
have definitely fucking died in most houses.
100%. But I think there's never seen like me dying in my sleep and just like not like a painful like murder or like a painful you die you don't die a good
Beaten
death.
with a hammer.
Right,
some
like that's like a
bullshit.
violent death, dude.
Oh, you're right, Morgan. It is hot in here. You know
What
why
are you
though?
talking about?
It's because we're boozing. It's 'cause
It's fine, dude.
No, right there. He's just saying.
But see, I'm also not looking for just if somebody died in the house. I want murder. Yeah.
If you live in California, for example, you must have seen whether
So is
any
it-
deaths occurred on the property. Really? Past 3 years. So if someone dies, well, you know, this person died in their sleep 2 years ago in the bedroom. You have to know that. That's.
Yeah, but I
what
feel
a
like if I was
pain
a
in
real
the fucking ass.
if I was a real estate agent, I would say that so nonchalant. I'd be like, I'm just saying this. Somebody did die in the house.
legally binded to tell you.
Yeah,
that
like, it would
there
just
was-
be like it's like they died totally fine. They're 90 years old. No big deal. Anyway, but what it does have is recessed lighting. I know you guys. I was on your wish list. And just like, oh, okay, moving on.
Moving forward.
right.
Totally forgot
But
about it.
Also annoying as fuck because it's hard to get people to fucking sign anything, and you start talking about dead people. You see that spit bubble I just blew?
Anyway, I don't like there's some houses I've seen like in like that are from like the 1800s, and I just see like the main room. I'm like, nope, don't like it. Looks haunted.
You believe in ghosts, man.
I believe in like this.
Oh,
may
you
sound-
don't like
this
the
is-
old. I like that though.
I like it to a
that
certain
old
degree.
style.
I like it to a certain degree, but like I don't like the I don't like. I believe in like weird energy, like vibes,
I could see
and
that.
just being like just walking in and be like, you like look. There's a different feeling you have when you walk in your grandparents' house when there's fresh made fucking chocolate chip cookies, and you're like, it's like this comforting, or where you walk into like a fucking insane asylum. Would you agree? It's a different kind of vibe. So it's the same thing with houses. Like some house I've walked into, and I'm like,
That's not a fair fucking comparison.
What do you mean?
Your grandmother's house in an insane asylum?
Well, yeah, obviously there's sharp contrast, but what I'm saying is like, I don't know, man. There's some like
Let's
those
keep it to residential.
All right, residential houses. There's some houses that are I just like, for instance, my house. I don't know. Some of the house I grew up in, I didn't even feel comfortable in. Like, I feel weird. I feel like someone's looking over my shoulder and shit. But the house I live in now, I'm like, I don't feel like that. I feel like it's just been good, you know. But there's other places like there's old houses where I'm like, dude, this house is from the 1700s. Like, how many? I always think like how many like weird things have happened in this house, but also how many good things, right?
100%.
But there's like how many people like how many arguments have happened in this kitchen? Like, you fucking bitch, you fuck my brother. You know what I mean? Like crazy.
Wow,
fucking,
dude. How do you sleep at night?
Huh?
Your brain goes that far thinking about shit like that?
Well, I definitely think about it too, but I was thinking more of like how many times little horses have been born in this barn, you know? The happy thoughts, Mortgage Man.
Sure, I mean, I have happy thoughts too.
And the pilgrims who were there grabbed both the back hooves and just pulled this little pony.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you.
Out of that giant horse vagina.
But here's the thing, right? I'm motivated at night. At nighttime, I told you, I'll be like trying to like at nighttime. I'll have these. I'm very motivated. I'm gonna build a gym in my garage. And wake up and I'm not as motivated. The same thing during the day. I'm positive. At nighttime, I am like more like fearful. I'm like, oh man, like what's gonna fucking happen?
Really?
I think of things in like a negative
I stay up
way.
late. I feel like because at night when when the world stops is where I'm like finally like, okay, nothing's expected of me right now. It's kind of like I can
two different personality types.
Man-child podcast.
Why is that? So which one's child? I don't even know.
I know neither.
Yours
I don't
for sure.
think either. I think
Really?
I don't think either.
So I'm like pissed all day.
Why is that child?
It's a mini vacation of knowing that there's no responsibility for that little time in his life.
Wow.
Right?
Well, I kind of get that too. And look, like I said,
oh yeah, me too. I once it's like 6 o'clock. I'm like, the odds of somebody from work.
6 is too early.
The odds of somebody from work trying to call
early.
me is.
I think once I get
too
past
early
8,
because you don't get work. You can get family at 6.
Yeah.
They're worse.
Oh, I see what you're saying though, Bill.
No, that's not worse. But like, if you want to tie a buzz on of your choosing, then you get that call at 6:45 or 7. Hey, you want to head on down to the Red Lobster, and you're like,
not really.
But I can't with
really.
you.
Well, they do have those Old Bay cheddar bay biscuits or whatever they call them.
I've never been to Red Lobster.
I sure as fuck ain't eating no sea bugs. I'll tell you that.
I'll be honest, dude. I can't sleep in a hammock. I can't lay in a hammock because I always think someone's gonna come up and kick me in the fucking balls.
In your balls.
Well, who lays on their stomach in a hammock?
Thank you. I'm just saying, kick me in general. I'll lay in a hammock sometimes. I'm like,
I picture you laying in like a rope. I picture you laying face down in a rope hammock with your sack just hanging out the bottom of the rope. And I just walk up and bling, like it's a speed bag.
No, kick me in the balls.
No, I'm gonna sneak up and punch him.
You're gonna punch my balls aren't going through the hammock.
I don't find hammocks to be enjoyable.
Yeah,
that's the level of fucking spaz I am sometimes, where my brain just doesn't shut the fuck off. You know, it's crazy. But honestly, I think I've just seen so many horror movies. You don't like horror movies? Maybe I should stop watching them because they freak me the fuck out.
Yeah, it's not that horror movies catch your attention.
I'm talking about for me, terror, dude. Like I've been like,
what's terror though? What's terror?
Dude, I'm telling you something.
I don't know.
Look, some people love this movie, some people hate it. For me, I'm more of like if you show it to me, it's almost like I can see it's not as bad. It's like when I have to think about it and be like, it's almost like one of those scenes where, like, for instance, there's an argument between two guys and the door shuts and all you see is like the outside of the door and you're just like imagining what's going on. You just hear like a with guns. Like you don't actually see it. You have to imagine it. So anyway, there's a movie called It Follows. Have you either seen that?
No. Dude,
it's this creepy ass fucking movie. And basically it is like, they said it's like almost like a, I looked it up. They're like, it's a sex demon essentially, where if you,
I heard it was just about AIDS.
It could have been AIDS. It could have been rape because you can't see it. But anyway, what happens is basically like let's say you have sex with somebody, right? Let's say I have it, right? I have AIDS.
And he has sex with you, Bill.
But now the demon, this thing is called It Follows. It's like this thing. It could look like your parents. It could look like a stranger. It's just walking towards you at all times, right? And the only way to get rid of
I'm so confused right now. You gave me AIDS.
Sorry. He brought up AIDS. So It Follows is basically a sex demon is what it's about. So
people are saying.
It's basically like the opening scene of the movie is like a couple hooking up.
What does it have to do with STDs though?
because
people related.
A lot of these movies,
you get the demon gets attached to you after you through sex.
So I
contracted an STD, but it's a murderous demon.
I contracted a demon from you.
Yes,
right.
There's only
so
one
opening
only thing worse than herpes.
Yeah.
Well, AIDS is probably worse. Well, actually, probably not now.
Not anymore. You just need a blender full of cash. About $30,000 worth, I think it is.
And you inject it right into your veins.
Nah,
dude. But anyway, it's like, it's like this thing that constantly follows you, and you cannot get away from it. And basically, like, let's say you fuck somebody, and they give it to them, and then they die. It comes back to you. So it's just like never ending.
So this
nobody. Hold on.
Wait. How does it kill you though?
Nobody else gets it. Nope. It never shows it. But they
never. It's the scariest movie you've ever seen. It never killed anybody.
No, it kills you like. It's not a violent movie, but the opening scene, like the first 2 minutes of the scene, is like extremely gory. This girl basically has the car. She's on like a cliff, and she has the car running here. And she's at the cliff, and she's on the phone calling her mom, and like, I'm sorry. And then it cuts to the next scene, and she's just like, this like guts basically, like they just killed her. And then it's the next scene. It's like this dude's fucking like a high school couple, and they're hooking up. And he like chloroforms her after they have sex, and he takes her to this abandoned building because he wants to tell her like, look, this is what's gonna happen. And he shows, and there's like this creepy ass like woman just walking up to like like almost like Dixie Factory, just like walking, right? And never looks the same. And then they're like not sure of it. And she's in this house, dude. And there's like it's just weird, dude. It's a very creepy movie. Like I'm at the point now where it's like, you know, like the jump scare, like Conjuring. Yeah, it's kind of scary.
No, I never like jump scaring.
I just don't understand.
It's cheap.
I just don't understand.
Cheap.
I find them to be easily to grasp your attention, right? They're easy to be like, okay, I'm watching. It's so intense, but the feeling that you get is a feeling, which makes it art. Whatever, it's good, whatever. But it's also just like bad. I'd rather.
It's like spicy food.
I like a terrible feeling.
I like eerie. I know we talked about this on the very first podcast with the strangers, but I like eerie. When for something to be scary for me, it needs to be like
that's scary as fuck too.
It needs to be eerie. It's where it's done so well that there's no jump scare to it. It's just the visual and the thought of you being in that position of that person.
Right.
Yeah,
like we'll bring up. Well, I think we've said this before, but in Signs, probably the only eerie part in Signs was when they're watching the Hispanic television or whatever, the Spanish news, and one of the aliens.
Andale.
Great, I fucking jumped.
Yeah, see, cheap scare, man. Come on, that's not what we're going for here. Yeah. And the alien just walks by the one like alleyway, and it's like a video. That's it.
It's like fucking Bigfoot. Yeah,
that's it. Just that part.
I was never afraid of Signs.
It was like if you were at your house in the United States watching the TV and you saw that, and it was like,
I mean, they basically said they said aliens are real this year, and no one gave a fuck. They just didn't have a picture to show you, I guess. But I know what you're saying.
They should have showed that video and see how many people.
I don't think. Do you really think aliens are real?
They have to be. They have to be.
Spacefaring aliens? I don't think they are.
Oh, wait, you mean like ones that like they're just
you don't think they are
just cruising around?
I was gonna stay on the topic of movies, but I guess
I don't think there's aliens. Like I heard this I don't know, maybe it's just me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like, did we talk about this before? If we did,
no, not aliens.
So like, here's the way I heard this explanation. Do we all agree that the way we see time is linear? There's a start. We were born at a certain time. You can't go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how long has the universe been around? Say 8 billion years. I'm making that up.
Like a couple hundred years.
2,000 years since Jesus was born.
Yeah.
Right about that. Yeah.
Let's say it's 8 billion years, which I've heard. Maybe it's 9, 10, whatever. But if you look at it, linear timeline from start of the universe, Big Bang, saying it's true now. If you listen to this podcast 50 years, it's probably some new fucking theory. But at the time is Big Bang, right?
I hope around 50 years.
Right? So it goes, all time does is go linear, right? So the universe is also infinitely big, right? So the speed of light can only go so far. All these other things, there's only...
Light can only go so far.
Light can travel as far, but there is a limit to the distance of like light speed, like light years away. So 200 light years away means it takes light 200 years from now to there to get there. It takes 200 years.
You would die before your flashlight reached that spot.
Right.
Isn't that crazy to think?
100%, yeah.
So the way I heard it...
You see stars in the sky that are burned out for 50 years.
So we're looking at it right now, right? Like time is linear on a line. So I'm saying like, I'm not saying there won't be. I'm not saying there
probably sound very stupid right now.
I don't.
Your flashlight would be like longer than you live for.
But just hear me out, dude. All I'm saying is, look, I'm not saying there won't be and there hasn't been spacefaring. That's what I'm talking. I'm talking about like some fucking micro.
That you know about. That's very.
Let me fucking finish. You and grab your thing, you fucking idiot.
I leaned in.
So all I'm saying is this: is that the time? How long have human beings been around for? Now there's years. 200,000 years, right? We've been spacefaring since the 60s, so that's 80 years. So 80 years.
Not a long
we've
time.
had. Exactly. We've only gone to the moon that we know of, maybe.
Well,
and we've had probes have gone some places, right? So the odds of everything lining up within 8 billion years that there's other spacefaring civilizations within the universe that we know that we can get to and that can get to us that line up at the exact same time within the exact same timeline.
Oh, you're saying that
is
they've already
impossible.
That their version of Earth has already run its course.
No, I'm saying that there's
a wasteland.
No, I'm saying that there's anything that travels through space. We have literally are advanced to a species from rubbing sticks together to make fire to sending a fucking rocket to the moon, which is incredible, right? All I'm saying is that for other alien, quote unquote, civilizations to do the same thing in the same time frame that human beings are at the point we're at right now is impossible.
I disagree. Is it though? I disagree.
Because
within wait. Years?
Because we don't need.
But dude,
but you're talking.
Yeah, but that's our technology. What about their technology? They could be.
I said spacefaring. What do they have?
They could be so far advanced
they could be 2,000 years ahead of us right now.
Then try and talk to you. Could be like you talking to a bunch of
8 billion years. What is all right? We did. Who's the comparison where it's like what is $1 million in a duffel bag versus $1 billion in a duffel bag? 8 billion years is so long and so big, and the universe is infinitely. Dude, I remember
that's what I'm saying.
The one guy
is infinitely. So
astrophysicist said like there is time where it's like it is too far away. There are places that we found on microscopes, telescopes that it's like we can't, like, light can barely even get to these spots. We know it's there, but we don't know what is there.
Yeah.
It's too far.
No fucking doubt.
So they can't get to here.
Yeah, but you can't say in the same sentence that the universe is infinite, but there's a 0% chance that there's some other type of cognitive being somewhere. That's like
because of the concept of infinity?
Yeah, that's like not... Unless you believe that it ends somewhere, which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
It might end.
It might end somewhere. It could be like in fucking...
Look, I'm just saying...
Men in
once
Black?
again...
Remember the end of Men in Black? The first one when we're just all like... We're just a collar?
Well, I believe more of that. Like, where it's like... what is that called? That's a fractal. Everything's fractal.
What if there was a way to get to the end of our universe and all we do is we get to a point where we find out that the entire universe is just, shaped like the Earth, and then that entire universe is just one planet inside the entire other universe.
I totally believe that.
Could be.
I mean, dude, you could be.
We could just. People are saying this could be like a fucking cell inside of an organism.
Yeah, it's a cell inside of a fucking toenail of a giant in some other fucking universe.
Just a little bit crazy.
Yeah, but the concept of time is crazy too.
You're listening to the best podcast on the toenail of the giant fucking universe.
I mean, think about like some fucking bugs that live a day like that. To them, that's a normal lifespan.
It's a great,
as long as they
great life
fuck.
Right there. Great
so
life.
But if they don't fuck, all right. So like when a fly
it's
is
just as shitty as 80% of the men on this country.
Yeah. So like when flies hatch and 1 million of them are fucking,
not 80%.
1 million of them fucking fly out. They got 7
40.
days to live, right? Fucking like. How many of them actually get to breed and give birth to?
That's all we're here for.
Most of them get fucking eaten by a fish, and does that fly like? I only lived for 3 days and got eaten by a fish.
Well, that's the same shit. It's just different. It's on different scale. I mean, if you think of break down like human beings, like, oh, we have all this, we have a podcast, we have friendship, but it's like really all you're here to do is continue the species. That's your only purpose.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of people who don't fucking create a kid.
Morgan, you're right in time for the Easter spirit with that fucking comment. It's all meaningless. It doesn't mean shit.
I mean, I don't know. There's me. I mean, there's cool shit that happens, but I don't know if a fucking. But then again, like you could look at like I also think that the way we treat some animals and shit is fucking evil. And I think that aliens did come. I've heard that there's watching stupid shows and shit where they're like, that's what aliens will treat us. Is like, how do they treat other creatures on the planet? And we're like, we're the best.
If they're advanced.
We're the best. So we'll eat you. Put you in zoos. We'll build shit wherever we want. Like, I don't give a fuck about you, orca. Like, fuck yourself. Move somewhere else. We got to put a fucking freeway through here.
And then eventually all of us are going to be on their version of Facebook, and they're like, look how happy these humans are when they see fresh grass for the first time. And we're gonna come skipping out of this alien. We're gonna come skipping out of this alien bar and just, and that's us.
Yeah. It's cool. Like zoos are cool when you're a little
And then
kid.
they tell you about how you
Don't
want
pretend to be friends. It'll separate us. Okay.
when you kill a human, you have to be really quick because if they see their friends get killed, it spoils the meat.
Oh my god, dude, that's so
Right?
true.
Right? That's good.
Yeah.
You see, this poor human is thrashing around because he's just so nervous because he knows what's coming
You think
next.
it's really like pork though?
You're giving me a bath? Why are you giving me a bath? Right?
Yeah.
Those cows are thinking.
Yeah. Well, we gotta get all the hair off of you so we don't get it in our meat. But you know.
No, I've watched some of those videos and I'm like, this is worse than This is worse than like anything, dude. Watching those, I can't like watch it, dude. Watching pigs are smart. They're like dogs, dude. And they're just like literally.
You think meat is like you think eating a human is like pork? Would you guys put barbecue sauce on it? I would.
They call it long pork.
I
Cannibals.
know, that's why I ask.
I'm sure I love pork too. I could eat a human. No problem.
Barbecue human sandwich. I mean, whatever.
What's the best part?
I wouldn't order it, but I mean,
Your butt, right?
I would think it'd be a leg. No. What's
you
the best
guys have
part of
all
a
seen
cow?
post-apocalyptic movies, and they always run in with the fucking people who decided to start eating people.
I think they had.
You know, they don't. They're always the ones with the house, and they got like pots and pans, and they got shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
They got guns.
Well,
The
wait,
heroes
wait.
of the story
What's the
always
best-
are
what's-
eating plants, and they're barely surviving.
What's the best part of a human?
Probably ass.
I was gonna say,
thighs.
or the back strap, just pulling up the nice little
back
lower
strap.
back of somebody.
What about the leg? You think his leg's too muscular?
Fry that up.
What's the best part of a cow? Like a
Back strap, probably. Right?
Where's a fillet? Where's a fillet come from?
Filet mignon.
Filet mignon.
I think that's the backstrap, like you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's
no,
back-
I've ate deer
most of
backstrap
the
is
meat
good.
Comes from the fucking thighs and the ass,
Oh
right?
yeah, baby.
I think.
My ass is so thin. You wouldn't want to eat
What's
me.
the shoulder called? Just the pork shoulder, I guess.
Pork shoulder,
That's what
yeah.
I just call it, yeah.
I thought pork butt was like a name for something. No, it's literally the ass of the pork. Right?
What's
pork butt.
pork butt?
What I call my dog.
What's the pork belly? That's
belly?
that's probably literally pork belly, isn't it?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Probably.
I mean, people eat chicken.
Which, if it's done right,
Is it like you're not talking about like the fucking stomach, like tripe? You're talking about
no. Pork belly is like a good pork belly done well is like a very thick piece of bacon, but equally thick is another piece of just straight fat on it.
Yeah.
But if they do it right,
How long have we been going for?
hour 17.
That's good. I feel like this is a good one. Long piss, Morgan.
Well, he sucked down his whole fucking water already. And
Oh,
then
everything around
he
him.
had-
I can't believe he didn't drink that yet.
He had good one because it isn't like seltzer water. I can feel little beads of sweat
What?
running down my forehead, though.
He talked about LaCroix for the entire month of January when he was
You're probably
fucking
right,
dry.
yes. But the reason he probably did that is because before that, he didn't like he talked about how much he didn't like it for so long.
He's like saying that. LaCroix. LaCroix. That's what he says. Isn't it LaCroix?
I've heard it both ways.
LaCroix. I heard
When I
LaCroix.
say LaCroix, it's like one of those things where you start saying like, first start saying bro, and you say it as a joke, and then all of a sudden it like you start saying it as a joke, and then it becomes like in your vocabulary. I feel like that's how LaCroix was. I'd be like, oh, I like a LaCroix, joking around, and all of a sudden you're like, no, I would like a LaCroix. So
I
you
feel like
guys,
Chris D'Elia made a good point about those, and there's supposedly nothing in it, right? It's just sparkling water, but somehow it tastes like a lime. So what the fuck is in it?
chemicals.
Should we wrap up? Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
Yeah,
That's the podcast, everybody. Thanks.